Dr. Scott McLean and Todd Brickman are the recipients of the 2013 Dr. Lawrence V. Conway Lifetime Distinguished Service Award from the Medical Mission Hall of Fame in recognition of their work in founding students for medical missions at what is now the University of Toledo's College of Medicine and Life Sciences. The pair, that's Scott on the left, were MD PhD students working in the Department of Pharmacology in 1998 at what was then known as the Medical College of Ohio. Scott had a clinical rotation with Dr. Richard Nelson, that's Dr. Nelson with the blue cap, in the Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, while the professor was planning on going to Peru for a medical mission. It was a trip that would impact Scott's life and hundreds of other medical students at his alma mater for years to come. While in Peru, Scott was able to help this young patient who had a tongue lesion. He was involved in removing a large, probably cancerous nasal lesion and the subsequent reconstruction, and he helped welcome a new face into the world. But it wasn't just the experience of trying new things with other volunteers that Scott found exhilarating. Most importantly, he knew he was scrubbing in to make a difference for those who had no other options. The reactions he received from Peruvians are forever part of his memory. Perhaps none more so than when he gave a pair of his running shoes to a man who was shoeless. The man responded with a word of thanks, put on the shoes, then stood up and did a little dance. Scott's mom, Linda, made the trip as well and offered post-operative care. When Dr. Nelson and the soon-to-be Dr. McLean returned to Toledo, Scott shared his excitement with Todd Brickman. Students for Medical Missions was formed when Scott and Todd attended an MCO student organization fair in September of 1998. With their plans supported by key administrators like Dr. Zamira Gohara and Patricia Medding, more than 100 students, including those in allied professions, signed up to join the group. Soon afterward, Brickman and McLean were contacted by then Toledo Mayor Carty Finkbeiner, who requested their assistance in organizing a relief mission to Honduras. Hurricane Mitch had devastated that country, leaving death and destruction in its wake. Media coverage of the students' plans resulted in community philanthropic support, with the largest gift coming from Dorothy Price, who was impressed by what the young men and women were doing. When they arrived, the students were faced with working conditions that required adjustments, including conducting microscopic analysis in the field, quite literally, because there was not enough light in their tent. In just 4 days in Honduras, the newly formed Students for Medical Missions group saw 1,000 patients. The lines were long, as were the variety of ailments. Patients were treated for everything from parasitic worms to children who were suffering from dehydration. Scott and Todd's efforts, well, they generated plenty of smiles. They also created a living legacy. For the past 15 years, members of Students for Medical Missions have traveled the world, improving the human condition while gaining hands-on experience in their chosen profession. Scott and Todd's efforts also formalized the process of healthcare students applying for missionary work, making the whole process much more streamlined. Another hugely positive outcome was the addition of Dr. Richard Patt, a 2013 inductee into the Medical Mission Hall of Fame, who has served as the volunteer advisor to SMM since its inception. Their experiences have served Drs. Brickman and McLean well. An assistant professor in the Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery at the Louisiana State University School of Medicine in New Orleans, Todd, who earned his medical degree from MCO in 2002 and his PhD in biomedical sciences from the University of Toledo in 2007, completed his residency at the University of Rochester Medical Center. Scott, who completed his joint MD PhD at MCO in 1999, completed his residency at the Mayo Clinic. He is now a clinical assistant professor in the Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery at the University of Michigan. For their outstanding effort in establishing Students for Medical Missions at the University of Toledo's College of Medicine and Life Sciences, the Medical Mission Hall of Fame is pleased to present Dr. Scott McLean and Dr. Todd Brickman with the Dr. Lawrence V. Conway Lifetime Distinguished Service Award for 2013.